Okay, trivia time. Time is on the clock. Name 5 things that automatically come to mind when thinking about wealth management or financial advisors. Ready, go.
That's easy. Bored, painful, rather listen to my in-laws, numbers.
Almost there.
Torture?
We have a winner. Let's tell him what he's won. You've won the PennyWise Financial Podcast. Yes, it's a financial show, but we talk to you like human beings talk. Sure, we do the traditional retirement planning and money management, but we also help plan for other decisions, like buying a car, selling a home, buying vacation properties, or selling a business. We're more than financial advisors to you. PennyWise Financial, brought to you by Monarch Wealth Management. This is PennyWise Financial, and this is Constantine Kitrinos and David Georgiev.
Hello and welcome to this episode of PennyWise Financial. Constantine Kitrinos here with Monarch Wealth Management.
And this is Dave Georgiev with Monarch Wealth Management as well. And I just want to say good morning, TGIF. It is Friday, the 14th of May. And we have some special guests today. We have Lou George and AJ Long from Specific Solutions. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Hans, you want to start us off?
Yeah, welcome to the show, boys. Just real quick, why don't we get some introduction, some background on you guys, how you got started in the business, and we can talk more about how we work together and how our clients can benefit from that.
Okay, AJ, go ahead. Why don't you start, AJ?
Sure. Again, thanks for having us on the show. Again, this is AJ Long, brokerage manager with Specific Solutions, and Specific Solutions is a brokerage general agency founded in 1976 by my grandmother, thankfully, and we've been in business for over 40 years, and I'm proud to say, being the third generation in this business, we've seen so many changes, built so many great relationships over the years, and especially one of them being Monarch Wealth Management. And really what our firm does is act as a trusted partner with financial advisors, property and casualty agencies, registered investment advisors, and also financial institutions. We represent over 50 different carriers throughout the industry for all different lines of fixed insurance products, including life insurance, disability income, and long-term care planning insurance. Our job is to provide the best solution to our advisors, provide them with the most quality companies out there, and also really make them informed of what's going on with the life insurance industry, because there's been so many changes, especially recently with the COVID-19 pandemic, that really has made writing insurance and getting insurance for clients much more swift and turnkey. And kind of my role with the company is working with our advisors on a daily basis, whether it's one-on-one consultations in person, via WebEx, which has been the new norm for everybody, and also doing one-on-one consultations with their clients, describing why we should be looking at this specific insurance product for your plan overall to give you the best overall outcome. We've had tremendous success, and Monarch Wealth Management has been one of our key clients, and we can't thank them enough for their business and their partnership. And with that, I will turn it over to Lou.
Thanks, AJ, and thanks, Dave and Constantine. We really are appreciative of being able to be on your call today, on your podcast. Enjoying it already. My history, I've been in the business since 1992. Started off with Principal Mutual, then I went over to M&T Bank, and I was there for 21 years before I joined Specific Solutions. I ended up as the national sales director before I left, running the investment and insurance business for M&T Bank. And like AJ mentioned, the nice thing about working for a brokerage general agency like ours is the fact that, like, we represent 50 companies. And I know he mentioned that, but the nice thing about that is that we're not married to any one of them, so we can really go out and get the right product, the right solution for our clients' clients. We're very, very well in inherent risk. We do well, and we also do annuities, fixed annuities, and work different channels. We have a bank channel and credit union channel, along with the other channels that AJ mentioned. So, Dave, Constantine, thanks again for having me.
Absolutely, you guys. And before we kind of start asking you some different questions, I just have to say that being an independent financial advisor, for those just regular Joe Schmoes at home listening to this podcast, what Specific Solution allows us to do as independent financial advisors is when we sit down with clients and we go over their needs and their wants and what they're trying to shoot for as far as their goals are for retirement and financial success, we're able to then, if insurance needs do come up, we can turn around and say to AJ or to Lou at Specific, we can say, hey, here's our client, here's their situation, this is the type of coverage we need. And what Specific Solutions does is they shop it out for us. So now, again, by not being married to one specific company, we're not subject to just that company's products and solutions. So now they can farm it out to, like Lou said, to over 50 companies to try to find the best fit for our client. It's unbiased, and it really is truly serving our customers the way they need to be served. So that's why I love it, and that's why I've used you guys for as long as I can remember. And obviously the relationship is just awesome because you guys do not just a phenomenal job, but you're so easy to work with. So that's my 30-second commercial for you guys as well.
Well, we'll take it, David. Thanks for that. And I know one thing that we've worked on with you guys is we're pretty good with the advanced market stuff. Actually, very good with business solutions. I know we worked on a buy sell with you and one of your clients. So that's another area that we excel in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now with everything going on with COVID, it's given us all time to kind of take a step back from our business, the day-to-day, and revisiting those things. I've seen a lot of people starting to update their wills, looking at the buy sells. How are they funded? Are they even being funded? I mean, I'm sure Lou and AJ, you guys both see this all the time where people have a buy sell. It's in place, but they haven't done a thing with it.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's a great point, Constantine. And what we see more often than not is businesses who have a buy sell from 15 years ago when the business was valued at only $2 million, and now the business is valued at $10 million, and you have two new partners. They really need to get that updated, reevaluate it, and write some more insurance to properly fund it.
Yeah. And I would even go so far as for if there are any financial advisors or firms listening into this podcast to say that the other competitive advantage is you guys, I don't know how else to say it other than you do the dirty work as far as dealing with the insurance carriers. Because sometimes, for sure, sometimes these insurance carriers, they're these big organizations. One department doesn't know what the other department is doing. And what they might say, you need these 3 forms, and then the next time you speak with them, no, you need those 3 plus these 2, where Specific Solutions, they do the nitty gritty. They get all the forms ahead of time. And then if there's a problem or issue that arises, you guys go to bat for us. So you guys are able to get everything squared away with the insurance company. And that takes less time from us so we can deal with our clients and work with our clients more and less with the minutia of the back office type work, and that's another competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a good point. We, with our firm, every agent, every advisor gets their own case manager, and it's a one-on-one relationship with the case manager. We really don't want the agent dealing with the carrier. That's our job, and we'll see through any APSs, attending physician statements. We order the medical exams. We double check the paperwork to make sure it's in good order. And we even have a program maybe we could talk about a little later in the show that we'll take the application for you guys out there. So that's a new program we launched last fall, and it couldn't come at a better time now that a lot of clients and advisors are really having a difficult time getting together face to face, but they do want to take and address the insurance need.
Yeah, and again, let us do the work for you as your partner. That's the most important aspect.
Yeah,
I see where this is going. Let's take a quick pause for commercial, and we'll come right back. Are you a broker-dealer, bank, credit union, or independent advisory practice looking for help in growing your insurance and annuity business? Stop looking. The team at Specific Solutions has been around since 1963 and helps investment programs expand their insurance production with efficiency, support, and infrastructure. They have access to a number of carriers and products that may not be available to your team. Knowledge, experience, and service is what they live and breathe. Give Lou George or AJ Long a call to find out more at 716-632-7777. That's 716-632-7777 or visit specificsolutions.com.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. Dave Georgiev here. So we have Lou, George, and AJ from Specific Solutions, I should say. So guys, I'll put this in your court. Now, Corona, COVID-19, the after effects. What does business look like today in this new world that we're entering? And what do you guys see, I guess, as the future of the insurance world and how we take applications and underwriting? And I'll leave it very vague so you guys can take it where you want. But what do you guys see today, and what do you see in the future of the insurance business?
Sure. I'd like to take this one, Lou, if you're good with that.
Go ahead. Yeah, AJ, please.
You know, over the past, now it's unbelievable to say 2 months, there's been a daily change in the life insurance industry that the carriers really had to come up with a solution because, people are working from home. They have to, self-isolate or just be with their loved ones, and they totally understand that. But what we're seeing is a lot more fluid or streamlined ways of doing life insurance planning. And I would say probably almost all of our carriers that we do represent have moved towards more of what we call an accelerated underwriting program, which means the old way of doing things with traditional life insurance is you take an application, a nurse comes to your home or your business and does a paramedical examination, which will include medical questions and, again, some blood or urine samples for traditional underwriting. Carriers realized this was not going to be the case during COVID-19, and they had to come up with a different way to do insurance planning for ease of business. With accelerated underwriting, carriers have moved for certain age brackets. Really, we're seeing up to about age 60, up to $3 million of coverage, whether it's term insurance or a permanent line of insurance, where a medical examination would not be required. And what I mean by that is, let's say Dave or Constantine write a life insurance application. What will happen is the client will receive a phone call from the insurance company to go through medical questions that would typically be asked by a nurse. And based on the results of that, they're going to run what they call a prescription check for any medications you may be taking, things along those lines. And based on that information, they're either going to give you an approval within 48 hours, or they're just going to order medical records from your primary care physician if they need additional information.
So how does AJ, how does that work in contrast to how things used to work? Because I know they would come out and maybe do a blood sample, urine sample, height and weight, and you might get a response maybe a few weeks after an offer. So how is that? It sounds like it's streamlined. It's expedited a little quicker, right?
It's extremely expedited, Constantine, and we've actually had tremendous success with a lot of our carriers. I would say over 75% of the time now, our insureds that are applying for life insurance are getting approved within 48 hours, just based on the phone interview they're doing with the insurance company.
Wow.
And Constantine, I'd add too, like that, in our back office, our specialists, when we talk to an advisor, we, get the information needed to help direct the right quote and the right company that's going to be the most effective with getting the case underwritten. So, that's where I think our expertise comes in, where you don't have to know what company to go to. We know that, and we'll be able to choose that company for you with best pricing, best underwriting for the circumstances. So that is really a big ease off of you having to search down the right company that's going to do everything AJ just mentioned.
So coming back to that point, AJ, if most of the cases, 75+% are streamlined, what about the other 25 that maybe need some additional underwriting? How are they dealing with that? I mean, are nurses still coming out to the homes?
So because of COVID-19, the carriers are really working as much as possible to avoid that happening. And what they're doing is, again, if they do not get approved through the accelerated underwriting program, they're going to go ahead and order medical records from their primary care physician to dig a little bit deeper for an underwriting offer. So there would not be an exam. They would just have to order medical records based on the information from their phone interview and also that prescription check that we were talking about.
Wow, it sounds like this is a great time to be kind of reevaluating your policies. Do you have enough coverage? Do you need to add coverage, buy, sells? There couldn't be a better time. I mean, it's streamlined. People are at home. So
oh yeah, and
you had the time.
You have the time. It's a great time to not just evaluate your investment portfolio on your end, but also the insurance planning aspect as well. And a lot of the questions we get is, well, how do we submit the application? Do we still have to go to the client's house? Do we have to fax? Do we have to scan, like the old way of doing things? That's also changed for the better, where now through Specific Solutions, we are now offering a electronic signature, so you can do the application over the phone or via email with the client.
Wow.
That's awesome. That really is. I want to bring up policy reviews. Do we do a break now, or do we still have a little time?
We still have a little time.
All right. Guys, can we talk about how beneficial policy reviews are? And can you kind of walk through how that process goes? I mean, briefly?
Yeah, AJ, I could jump in on this, and then you can add some color. We've had a policy review program since the early 2000s at Specific Solutions, and it's a formalized program where we actually will conduct and do the review and come back to the advisor with an analysis of your client's insurance program the way it currently exists. What we've done over 85,000 policy reviews at Specific Solutions now. Since the early 2000s. So, and like one thing that's not changed is our results. And when we built this program, it wasn't meant to be for the purpose of replacement. It was for the benefit of being objective and really being able to come back to a client and say, listen, you're in good shape, or you're not. And what we have is always 3 results, guys. It looks a lot like a street light, and that's the way I always liken it to is a street light. And 47% of the time, and you guys know this, you've done it. You guys have done it. 47% of the time, we're coming back after you submit the policy review to us, saying your client's in good shape, that the policy's performing, they should do nothing. The only question then you have to handle is, do they have enough or they have too much? And that's through a needs analysis, which would be kind of part 2, and that's really up to the advisor. 17% of the time, it comes back, it looks like a yellow light, where just because of the pricing changes on insurance and some of the more lucrative benefits that insurance policies have had over the last 15 years, where more of them have living benefits, 17% of the time, we're going to come back and say, listen, for the same premium, we can get you more coverage, or if you like the coverage you're at, we can get it for a lower premium. And then 35% of the time is a red light, where it's actually one of those policies that's in trouble. The dividend history of the company they bought 15 years ago is not been strong. It could have been a universal life policy that was dependent on interest rates, and it's been dramatically underfunded with low interest rate environments the last 15 years. And then a variable life type contract where maybe the advisor assumed that the portfolio was going to return 12 to 14%, which we know just has not been the case. So that policy review program too is very easy to do. We don't even need the policy. We have a intake form that the client signs. The agent/advisor puts the client information, their address, their social security number on there. They both sign it and send it back to us, and we take the process from there. In 30 days, you're getting a side-by-side analysis, and you're going to see that street light that I just went over.
So Lou, to the client, what a nice thing where, hey, I don't want to sell you life insurance if you already have it in place, but let's do a complimentary review at no cost to you, the client. Let's make sure what you have is, number one, what you think you have, because I can't tell you how many times people think they have XYZ benefits where it's not the case. And then 30 days later, we find out exactly what type of policy, how much does it cost, and when you look at a future illustration, how is this thing going to play out, and does that still meet your goals or objectives? Correct?
Absolutely. You got it. You're right on. In fact, if any of your listeners even want to see what the output looks, AJ and I have examples of what you would get to give to your client, and we brand it for the RIA or the advisor. Like your stuff comes back to your clients, it looks like Monarch Wealth Management, not Specific Solutions. It's yours.
Yeah. So then,
and I think
go ahead, Lou. Or go ahead, AJ. Sorry.
No, the only other thing I was going to mention with policy review is it's really important also when we get the review back is to see who your beneficiaries are on your life insurance policy. You may not realize that you have an ex-spouse on there, or you only have one child on there and you have 4 children now. That's also a really important aspect of our policy review program.
Sure.
AJ, good point. I can't tell you how many times that happens.
Yeah, I've had ex-husband. I feel like I've seen more than anything else. Like, oh, we've been
You've had an
divorced for
ex-husband?
25 years. What's that?
You had an ex-husband?
Obviously, a lot of clients. They seem like that. That's the one thing is like, they've been divorced for 20 years and their ex-husband is still the beneficiary of the policy. That's probably the number one as far as wrong beneficiaries. That's what I've run into.
Yeah, and I don't know about you,
Absolutely.
Dave, but most of my
And-
policy reviews have come back, like Lou said, performing as intended, which is great. It's just a peace of mind for the client to say, geez, I bought this 10, 15 years ago, and you know what? It's the right coverage. It was the right coverage then. It's still the right coverage today.
Yeah. And then I was just going to make one quick point so that was talking to the client. That's, to anybody out there looking for life insurance or looking to work with financial advisors, like, what a nice benefit to you, but then also speaking to the financial advisor world, like what a nice value add for your relationship, for relationship building. Hey, bring in your existing policy. If it's doing what it's supposed to do, I'm not here to sell you more insurance. You're going to be all set. But if not, we have solutions for you, but we won't know until we do this research. Hey, this research costs you nothing for us to do. It's complimentary because of your relationship with us and our relationship with Specific Solutions. But then, and it does happen, like you said, I think you said 47% of the time, we come back and we say, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, these policies are doing exactly what they're intended to do. What a value add to show that you're just not trying to sell a product or service, but you're actually doing what's in their best interest. To me, I love that almost as much as saying, hey, we need to do something, because it really shows that you're in it for the best interest of the client, which is what we sell.
So I think that's an important point. If you're an advisor, it's a way to get to the other side of the balance sheet, right? A lot of times, and I've sat in your seat, a lot of times, the fun stuff, the sexy stuff is doing the plan and the asset allocation, hedging the portfolio, for markets like we're seeing right now, to not be down as much as everybody else. But getting to this side of the balance sheet is something that I think we owe our clients. There's nothing worse than building a portfolio that's depleted because there's not insurance in, or doesn't offset, tax deferred stuff for estate stuff for taxation, or it's eroded by long-term care expenses. So getting to that side of the balance sheet is one thing that Policy Review helps our agents and advisors get to, because it's such an easy transition to ask your client, tell me about your insurance program. What are you currently doing? I'm glad we talked about this because we have a new Policy Review program. You're there,
That's a huge win. With that, insurance policy review, Specific Solutions, great program. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back with the next segment. Are you a broker dealer, bank, credit union, or independent advisory practice looking for help in growing your insurance and annuity business? Stop looking. The team at Specific Solutions has been around since 1963 and helps investment programs expand their insurance production with efficiency, support, and infrastructure. They have access to a number of carriers and products that may not be available to your team. Knowledge, experience, and service is what they live and breathe. Give Lou George or AJ Long a call to find out more at 716-632-7777. That's 716-632-7777 or visit specificsolutions.com. All right, welcome back to the last segment of PennyWise Financial. We have our guest hosts, AJ Long and Lou George III. We talked a little bit about process, how we work with Specific Solutions, how they help advisors, brokers, broker dealers, independents, credit unions, banks, ton of people, and our own clients. So that's great. The last part here, I really am interested to hear what you guys have to say. Interest rate environment, super low. I don't see that changing for quite some time. We know what's going on with the market, unemployment, et cetera. How are people positioning life insurance now? Are they using it as a separate asset class? And when I say that, you've got your stocks and bonds, but there's been a number of changes. CARES Act, Secure Act passed in late 2019 that's affected some estate planning strategies. But how are advisors and clients using insurance as a part of their overall holistic plan? I don't know who wants to take that one.
Well,
you want to start?
AJ, I'll take the first part of it, AJ. Then I think, in in response to Constantine's question about interest rates, maybe you can touch on the wealth transfer product that we have through SBLI as something we've seen as almost a sleeve for what you would be considered like the guaranteed part of a portfolio or the conservative part of the portfolio. But what I'd like to talk about is using insurance as a hedge in a portfolio. And I think it's so important that, a lot of times when we do planning, we're trying to create the asset allocation, trying to get, risk-based returns, but, sometimes the market giveth and the market taketh. A lot of individuals, to your point, Constantine, will carve out some insurance to become part of that sleeve or part of the moving part of a portfolio. So for instance, if I'm a client that has, an $800,000 portfolio, I may just pick up a couple $100,000 of term insurance for 20 years to hedge against a downturn. So if my $800,000 portfolio takes a 20% downturn and now is worth, minus 160, is worth 640, I've got insurance off to the side for a couple $100,000 that basically keeps that portfolio whole for my spouse or loved ones if there is a downturn in the market. So in essence, I've got portfolio preservation, a hedge in a down market. If I happen to pass away in an up market and I picked up a couple $100,000 on that portfolio, now I just added some alpha or some growth on top of what the market gave me. So we see this a lot. It's a simple approach. The funding can come right from the portfolio itself, in terms of using the portfolio's income or even part of the assets to help pay the premium. But then it becomes something that is very fluent, and I think it gives clients a great peace of mind knowing that if something happens, their portfolio is going to be whole if something happens in the down market. So
you're talking pennies on the dollar to protect some of that money.
Absolutely. Why not, right?
Absolutely. And AJ, I don't know if you want to take the next part of that, talking about low interest rates. I don't know. One thing that Lou talked about was the hedging with term insurance, but how do cash values look? How do interest rates affect the premium levels? Are they staying the same? Are they increasing premium amounts? How does the environment look right now?
Sure. Obviously, rates have really just bottomed out right now. I think the 10-year treasury was at 0.6 today. So, unbelievable numbers. And what we're seeing a lot more people do is, one, there's been a reduction actually in term rates, which is good because more people are applying for life insurance for the better, and they know how low cost it is. Let's say someone wants to buy a permanent, what they call no lapse universal life policy. We see a increase on the cost of that due to the low interest rate environment. And that's just going to depend on the age of the client and the dollar figure with the specific carrier. But I would say the most important product that we're seeing being sold right now is what we call wealth transfer. And wealth transfer is for those clients who have the portfolio, they have their cash position, which really is their emergency money or their leave on money or their never money to the next generation. And what wealth transfer is, it's a single premium life insurance policy that provides the insured with a guaranteed death benefit to age 121, guaranteed accumulation within the contract for those clients who like to see some growth in their insurance policy. But here's the best part. This contract allows the client to get approved within 10 minutes of sitting with their advisor. And also, in the event they need those funds for an emergency, they can take a partial amount of the money out of the contract, or they can have a full return of premium. So let's say a client puts in $50,000. Her 50 turns into $100,000 of tax-free death benefit. But if she has an emergency, she needs access to that money, she may not need the insurance anymore, she can get access to her $50,000 from day one, penalty-free.
Access to your money, guaranteed, safe, tax-free death benefit. Sounds like a win-win, and accelerated underwriting, which they've been doing all along. Now, how many players are still part of this? Because I know some products got pulled, and so they made some changes. There's still a few good players left.
Sure. For independent financial advisors, there's the SBLI of New York single premium life insurance policy. And then for our financial institutions, there's two options that were our SBLI of New York and National Integrity.
Beautiful.
And guys, I would add too, the other benefit of the wealth transfer, not only that the money that's inside of the policy on that deposit grows income tax free. It's tax deferred, like a fixed annuity.
Mm-hmm.
And right now the credit rate internally on that contract is 3.5% in terms of the premium being credited when it initially goes in. So it's a guaranteed contract. So no matter what happens, the interest rates, they can go up and down. You're locked at that rate. It never changes over your lifetime.
Nice. Good point, Lou.
Yeah, that is really good. And maybe, when we have you guys on next, I'd love to kind of talk a little bit more about long-term care. I know Lou, I'm sorry, we've talked about some of my thoughts on how life insurance can almost be a replacement for long-term care policies, and then we have hybrids, and there's a lot of different categories we can talk about. For the sake of time, I think we're going to table that for a future podcast with you gentlemen. But we have, was there anything else, Cons, you wanted to add before we get to the last two serious questions?
Nothing on the business side. I think you will take over the most important questions.
Yeah. All right. Well, these two.
I can't wait for this.
We like to keep. Well, go ahead, Lou.
No, I was going to say thanks for having us. We'll be going now.
Before you head out, our two important questions, and Lou, I'll start with you. The first question, so AJ, it'll give you a second to think. Who is your favorite superhero and why?
My favorite superhero is Aquaman because I love the water, I love the fish, and I think it'd be really cool to live underwater.
Aquaman.
I don't know Aquaman, but I love the water, so I'm going with that. I like that choice.
You don't know Aquaman? Didn't you ever watch?
No, I don't.
Friends?
I lived under a rock for years.
You don't know who Aquaman is, Cons?
No idea.
Wow.
Oh my God.
You do live under a rock.
I do.
You've been in quarantine too long, man.
I've been in quarantine all my life.
Wow.
AJ?
I'm going to go with the Incredible Hulk.
Wow. I could definitely see that for you, buddy.
Because
choice.
he's soft, seldom, and then, when he needs to get upset, he gets upset, and he's one of my favorite colors, green.
All right. Fair enough. And then, AJ, I'll start with you. This last question: if you were an animal, which animal would you be and why?
A lion, because he's the king of the jungle.
All right. Fair enough. Lou?
I'd be a bear, man. I like naps, and if I can get 6 months of napping in a year, it'd be really awesome.
Did you say a ferret?
A parrot.
A parrot. Okay.
Who would be a parrot?
He said a bear. A bear.
Bear.
AJ, he said a bear.
Parrot. Yeah, I'm going to be a parrot. I'm going to be a parrot. I want to be perched on a pirate's neck. Yeah.
I've been in quarantine for too long.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I said a bear because I like to take naps. That give me 6 months a year.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard, Lou. And in closing, guys, if somebody, whether it's a client or whether it's a brokerage firm or a bank or a credit union or an advisor, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
Well, I'll give you my cell phone number, and then AJ can give you his and then the toll-free number to our office. But really, just reach out to me personally. I'd love to have a conversation at 716-983-2972.
Yeah, and again, anytime you'd like to reach out to Lou or I, we'd be more than happy to help you out for any of your needs. And my cell phone number is area code 716-867-2890. And then the number for our back office is 800-873-2345.
And let's be clear, any clients, any retail client, so if you're a client of ours, you're going to reach out to us and we will work with the specific solutions team. But if you're a broker, a BD, if you're a credit union and you really want to accelerate your business, you really have to talk to these guys. They're a great group of guys and gals at Specific Solutions, been around a long time, got a ton of experience, good relationships with a number of carriers, and they make your life easy and simple and streamlined. And I can't say enough good things about you guys and your firm.
We enjoy working with you and your firm, and you're a pleasure to deal with, both you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate everything. It's been a tremendous success, and we're just looking to more years of a partnership and, most importantly, friendship.
Yeah, that sounds good, guys. Thank you for your time today, and enjoy your weekends, okay?
Thanks again, gentlemen.
All right, take care.
Be good.
You've been listening to PennyWise Financial, brought to you by Monarch Wealth Management. Constantine and David really care about their clients. They want to make sure you're happy, so you'll continue to hire them. There's no commitments, and clients are free to leave whenever they want. Think about being able to pick up the phone and call someone for guidance and advice on almost anything, from buying a car, selling a home, buying vacation properties, or even selling a business. Reach out on the website at monarchwealthmanagement.com. There are 2 offices in Rochester and 2 offices in Buffalo. Reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, or call us toll-free at 800-480-1580. That's 800-480-1580. Until next time, this is PennyWise Financial, signing off.
The opinions voiced in this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA and SIPC.